Hey folks, and I thought you probably figured that I was going to start with a big bang or a song or something. No, it's not like that. So I see we've got a number of people watching. This is good. Unfortunately, I can't tell how many. Let's see. This is my setup time. This is where I'm working on trying to figure out what I'm doing. Hey folks, let's see. Oh, well, I guess it's not that important. I'm going to try to figure out how many people were watching me, and I can't seem to find it. Ah, there we go. Can everybody hear me okay? Tray is broke. Oh. Yeah, I've got it, Amber. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sound is perfect. Video is great. Good evening, Ronnie Joe. I think I'm going to do some sort of an intro for next time. I think. Yeah, Sherman says I need to. He's bored. Hey, Sherman. Who's that? There's a lot of people here, huh? That's my boy. Love the way I did the auction list. This is going to be the way I believe I'm going to operate this here on out as far as I can go. Thanks, Amber. What I'm looking at is a pretty good chance that I'll be able to get through about 40 lots per show. And so we've got about 2 minutes left before I'm going to start, but I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of the rules. The first thing is, this is a perpetual auction. A perpetual auction means that once I get this auction started, lot number 1, that'll be the only time you'll see lot number 1. When we get finished with lots today, say we do 41 lots, next time I'm going to start with lot number 42. We'll go up to $9.99 and then we'll flip back over to 1 again. If you're here with me when we get to lot 999 and go back to 1, consider yourself lucky. I'm not sure that we'll make it there, but we'll try. Welcome to the auction, and I'm gonna dump through the rules really quick that are on the auction page that we started with last week. It's at, if you want to follow along, it's at coppercoins.com/auction. And the rules as of now, it's open to anyone who is a subscriber to the Coppercoins channel. All you have to do is hit the like button and subscribe to us, and you're open for bidding. I'm the conductor of the auction. Any decisions that need to be made that I make are final, and I have a panel of 3 people moderating the auction. There's Jessica Johnson, who comes on as Penny Parent. There's Amber Panel, and there's Brady. I need to make him Brady Douglas. There we go. He's on as Bad 5524. And so I've got 3 moderators in here. Anything that they decide as far as calling the auction, it's up to them. And my job here is to present the items to you and show you what you're bidding on. Their job is to run the auction. And the dog's job is to leave at will whenever he feels like it. So, bidding is live. You can participate by entering a number in the chat, and that's your bid. Please do not enter any numbers unless you are bidding, because this is an auction. Increments of bidding: 50 cents up to $20, $1 from $20 to $50, and then a minimum of $5 thereafter. So once we get up to $48, $49, $50, the next bid would have to be $55. That's the way the increments work. The chat window is only for posting items, asking about items, or making bids. Please let's avoid confusion by not having a lot of excess chat during the auction. The allotted time per auction. I'm going to go and I'm going to show you the first item. You can see the first item there right now. And when the bidding starts to get slow, I will do this. That's going to pop up a timer. It's going to count down from 1 minute. Whoever has that last bid in when time shows is the winner of the lot. So it's a little bit different from other auctions that we sit around and wait until everything slows down, then you start calling second and whatever. But this is more of an immediate thing. It's kind of like how some of the auction websites count down, and you're done when it's done. So here we are down at 30 seconds, 29 seconds, and then when it gets down, I'm going to let this run all the way out just so you can see how it works. And I will move on. Now the high bidders of the auctions here, of the lots, you will need to send an email to payments@coppercoins.com. And yeah, payments@coppercoins.com. I want to make sure I had that absolutely correct. Payments@coppercoins.com. Send your real name, your screen name, and your PayPal address if it's not the same as the email you're sending from, so that we can send you an invoice. Please do not try to pay for your auctions straight up. We will send you an invoice. Please allow the invoice to come to you first. If you're going to pay by mail or money order, you were supposed to have contacted us ahead of time to let us know, but anyone in here right now who wants to pay by money order, if they're going to bid and hopefully win some of the auction lots, may let us know now so that we can put that in the book. And of course, anyone in violation of these rules will be told to stop, explained to them what the violation is, and if they continue, well, I just have to ask you to leave. And the auction rules are subject to change between each auction. You will go back to this exact same page every time you want to look at what's coming up next time. The date will be toward the top of the page, and then the current auction lots will be listed from there down. So, to that end, it's 4 minutes after. We're going to go ahead and get started with the first lot. This is a 1907 P Indian head cent. Bidding is now open. This one has toning. It's MS64 brownish. Has some awesome colors. And these things appear to possibly have come from an album. I doubt this is a roll end toner, because typically roll end toning happens closer to the middle of the coin and doesn't just do the rainbow thing on the outside edge. The starting bid on this item is $49 to anyone who wants to go ahead and bid now. Estimated value on this is roughly $100. Have any bids so far? We'll go ahead and start the timer. We have a bid at $49. People, when I saw this coin, I thought this thing was the holy grail of 1907 Indians. This is probably the nicest 1907 Indian I've seen. The photograph, I'm going to explain a little bit about my photography. When you see a coin that I've photographed, you're going to see a lot of detail. The luster isn't necessarily going to come through because I shoot for color and detail. That is a bit of a detriment to me simply because it shows you every single little tiny flaw on the coin. when you actually get the coin, and I've heard this from a lot more people than I haven't heard it from, the coin is generally a lot nicer than what they thought it would be before they got it. So just to let you know. Looks like John Claggett. We got John Claggett up there at $49. Anyone else? We're running low on time. And time. That's it for that item. So now you can see how this works. Yeah, or how I think it works. We're going to run through the rest of these items just like this. And so we're going to move on to lot number 2. Lot number 2 is a 1909 Philadelphia Mint Indian head cent. Let me get rid of the countdown clock. And this one I'm going to say is a choice uncirculated, and it's reddish brown. It's got nice solid surfaces, just a few little marks here and there. I'm going to start this one at $65. 1909 is a little more difficult than some of the earlier Indians to find. There's a few less minted, and all of your dates from 1908 back to about 1895 are quite a bit more common in uncirculated. 1909 tends to be a little difficult to find in uncirculated. I'm going to start this one at $65. And I'm going to go ahead and put the timer on it. Start making decisions. The detail on this thing is just fantastic, and it's got just a little bit of iridescent toning in some areas. Very few marks on this coin. I think that the main thing that I gave it a choice grade for is the fact that it doesn't have a whole lot of luster. Of course, it also has no wear at all. Got 28 seconds left on this item. And then we'll move on. Remember, shipping is $4 per package, regardless of how many coins you win. It's $4 per package, flat fee, and they will come straight to your door. We got 8 seconds left. And time. We're going to pass this one. And let's go to the next item. It's a 1920D Lincoln cent. Gorgeous coin with really nice luster on it. I'm going to start this one off at $75. The value on this coin is over $120 in the condition it's in. Okay, I see Mantic got that bid in. Okay, that works. And here on lot number 3, the 1920D Lincoln wheat cent. You'll notice that my my titles are a little wonky, and a lot of this is because these would be the same titles that I would use on eBay, which on eBay it requires that you put everything you can think of in the title because there's no tags. So you're basically tagging with the title. That's why I put cent and penny and wheat and all that in there. But it is a 1920D Lincoln wheat cent. It is uncirculated. Starting at $75. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. $48 seconds left. Let's move the start down to $70. Anybody want to start at $70? Not seeing anyone's bid. Let's go down to $65. How about $65? Anybody want to do $65 on this particular item? A 1920D Lincoln wheat cent in uncirculated condition. Does have a little bit of weakness at the top of the O and in pluribus, but the The sharpness of the wheat lines is impeccable for this early of a coin. 1920D does not come this strong very often. 3, 2, 1, and time. We'll skip this item and move on to the next. We have a 1931D Lincoln Wheat Cent. This one is a nice red-brown coin with a few spots here and there, really small spots, but I've taken its grade to a 63. It's you can see a little spot below the M of Unum. There's a little spot on the 9 o'clock right at the rim. But these little spots are tiny compared to the overall appeal of the coin. Now start on this one's $85. The value at MS63 red brown is $125 to $150. So we're starting this below, well below catalog value. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer on this one. If I can get this thing working. There we go. Lot 4 is open with less than a minute left. Starting at $85 for this coin. Let's go down. Anybody want to bid $80 on this one? $75. And $70. $70 is the start bid for this at this point. And I'm not going lower. The dogs decided to bring a squeaky toy in here. Mantic's at 70. And time. Okay, I'll move us on to the next lot. Next lot is a key date Lincoln Cent 1931S. It's a 1931S with light wear. I grade this coin extremely fine. It's a lower end extremely fine. You realize that the mintage of this coin is below 1 million. There's only 866,000 of these made. There's only 2 regular Lincoln Cent issues with fewer than 1 million made. There's the 1909S VDB and the 1931S. Sherman, hey. It's hard talking over you here. So we got this one, we're going to start at $59. The value of this one in extremely fine is 75 or higher. I'm going to start this one at $59. Ken's bidding 65. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, that's funny. Now he's just sitting here looking like he's been scolded and I have to pet him to make him feel better about himself. And he's my support dog. So yeah. I have to make it so that he doesn't think he's done something wrong. I just can't talk over the squeaky toy. He's been over there chewing on his monkey. Current high bid I can see is Coin Dragon at $70. Mama's not here to entertain Sherman today. Otherwise he wouldn't even be in here because, you know, he runs to her because she lets him do anything. Let's go ahead and start the clock on this one. He probably does need a hamburger. You know what? We don't have any hamburger in the house. We don't eat that kind of meat. Well, he eats dog food, but we don't eat hamburger. Right, Sherm? He says, yeah, whatever you say. We got 41 seconds left. We've got a bid at $70 with Coin Dragon. $25 seconds. Any other bids? Email address payments@coppercoins.com. $71 for Ken Peavy. 1 second left. And time. Coin Dragon at 72. Ken at 71. I'm guessing, yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of a lag, so it's really hard for me to tell when the timer runs out compared to where the chat is. So I fully depend on my moderators to be sure to let you know who won the lot. So it's Coin Dragon at $72. Congratulations, Coin Dragon. Let's move on to the next lot. Now, finding red uncirculated 1935D Lincoln cents is not as easy as you might think it is. This is a really nice coin with good luster. We're going to start it off at $11. Only $11. Have a few little spots here and there, but this thing is really shy on marks, and it's in really good shape. Got one bid starting at 11 and 12. The 1935D, they're getting to be much harder to find. This one came out of an original roll, believe it or not. And they commonly sell for $25 to $30 in this condition. So I'm trying to do you guys a real solid and get it started low. Hidden Numismatist is out. Coin Junkie Silver's got it at, let's see, no, it's Ronnie Joe at 16. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer on this one. In this photograph, you can see the luster kind of swimming around the coin. It's really nice in person. It's nice and red. We got 19 seconds left. Let's see if I can do this. Here's a look at it. Of course, it's inside of a slip, so. But you can see it is a fully red coin. It's just my photography doesn't necessarily catch it really well. And we have run out of time on this one. I don't know why it doesn't show time on there, but the time ran out, probably because the time ran out while I was showing it. Now let's move on to the next lot. We have a 1928D Lincoln cent. Nice coin with very light wear. We have a AU-ish look on the reverse, and on the obverse it has enough wear to be a low-end AU, probably a high-end. Hey, Dog's over there squeaking his toy again. I guess I'm boring. So it's probably a high-end XF to low-end AU coin. I have it graded here at a low AU. Not a whole lot of luster, but the wear on the coin is really light. And finding them with all their details is rather tough. Usually offered above $12 per coin. This one's starting at $7. Have a couple of bids in at $7. Got bidding continuing on this one. Now, for anyone who is here and collects the coin cards, I'm going to let you know that generally you have to spend $10, $15 on average to get a coin card when you buy at my store. Today, and only today, for this auction, every $5 you spend, you're going to get a coin card. I don't have the super horns or any of the noise effects, but every $5 you spend gets a coin card. I've got a whole stack of them here, just waiting to go out. Let's go ahead and start the clock on this one. It's not showing up. Let's see if it's showing on the screen. It is not showing up. Let me see why this is not showing up. Ah, that's why. Alright, I started the clock and it was not visible until it had 42 seconds. The Indian cent was the first item for bid. It was at roughly 5 minutes after 9. Got a lot of other good lots on tonight. There is another 1907 coming up, but it's not like the other. One of these things is not like the other. Okay, we've got time on this. The coin cards do not match the cent you won. They are die varieties, and it's a die variety attribution card set. Most of what I'm selling here today is not die varieties. Most. So there's a total of 60 different ones so far. And let's go to the next item. Page 2. 1937S Lincoln Cent. It's a very nice gem coin. This one again is a gem like the 35D was. The 37S is not very easy to find in gem. I'm going to start this one out at $14. Most of the time you're going to find these going for $20 or more. I'm fascinated watching the bidding. Sorry, I'm not talking. I guess you don't have to talk all the time to be an auctioneer. Or do you? I'm definitely not going to learn the fast talking. I might tell a couple of jokes eventually once I become more comfortable with how all this operates. It's a little difficult to keep up with sometimes. We're going to go ahead and start the timer on this one. Give everyone a last opportunity to take a look at it. The current bid is $20 by John Claggett. Don't forget, if you haven't done it already, go thumbs up the video before you leave. The coin show on QVC. Anthony Godley, you're new here. Subscribe to the channel and start bidding. You have to have PayPal to bid. Three, two, one, and time. We'll move on to the next item. This is a 1938 plain Lincoln cent, and the luster on this one just about blinded me. Had to wear shades to look at this one. Now, it does have a few marks here and there, but for the brightness of this luster, it looks like it was minted yesterday. This coin is very bright. Generally, these exceed $20 in catalog value, and if you were to get this graded, it would come out likely an MS65 red, and it would be a very bright one at that. We've started this one off at $11. The dog has brought his squeaky ball in here, and now he is laying on the floor looking at his squeaky ball. He wants to chew on his squeaky ball, but he's decided it's probably not a good idea. I commend him for that. Looks like we're currently up to $20 bid. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on this one. We have a new bid. Hoogie's Hobby Shop. Where is Hoogie's Hobby Shop? "31 seconds left. Hoogie, go ahead and tell us where you are. South Carolina. If you have a brick and mortar, if you want to give the address, you can do that. "10 seconds left, and we'll move on to the next item. I show time. Just for fun. Okay. And move on to the next item. This is a beautiful 1938 D Lincoln cent. This thing, if you zoom in on these pictures, you can see very few little marks on this, and that's exactly what the coin looks like. It's very nice. Youper girl, I appreciate it. You come back anytime. I'm going to start this one out at $13. Looks like we've got a bid up at $25 now. Thank you, John Claggett. Coin cards. After this item, I will stop and explain coin cards. And we've got... Did I start the clock on this one? I don't think I started the clock on this one. I'm running out of my my attention meds here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on it. Alright. We've got the clock started at 50 seconds. I was looking for my stack of coin cards and forgot where I was. Lost my place. Got 1/2 a minute left. Anybody wants to bid above 25 on this one? Countdown from 10. Main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Congratulations, John. Let me flip it back over to me, and we'll talk for a minute. This, if I can get it to focus in just right. It's a little light. Let's see. Let's see if I can shadow it just a little bit. This is a coin card. So I have to do backwards movements and stuff to get everything just right. Here we go. So this shows the 1963 DDO number 1 with the extra 3 in the 3. And let's see. Boy, nobody ever gave me coordination points. The visibility here shows that it's a visibility of 3 out of 5 stars. Scarcity is quite scarce. These are not easy to find, and they're kind of expensive. And this is 1963D 1DO001. It's a class 3 double die. And then over on the other side, it gives you the number of the card right up here. This is number 13 out of 60. And my light is a little bit bright here, but it has a full write-up on the card on the back for what that coin, what that die is. And it has all the information that you need to get a hold of me. Basically, this is my business card. This is business card sized. And I have created a series of 60 of these cards. Here's some of them. Okay. Now, series of 60 cards. How much are they? You can't buy them. You have to earn them. And you earn them by showing up here. And maybe I'll give some away here after a little while. You can like. You can comment, you can share on our Facebook posts, you can like and comment on our videos on YouTube, Instagram, any of the places that Coppercoins is. If you show up and you help us out, we'll help you out. We'll send you coin cards. You get points for everything that you do, and there's 250 points a card. And the points come rather quickly. I mean, you get, I don't even know right now, I don't have it up, but I think it's like 100 points to share content. So that's what the coin cards are. And at some point, I'm going to move on to a series 2. So there will be 120 different ones. And then I may move into a series 3. Math on that would make 180 different ones. I had to think about that one. All right, so let me get back to the auction, take the timer off of this, and move to the next item. Isn't that pretty? That's a nifty little coin right there. It has a little bit of brownness to it, but that brownness also has some iridescence, and it's really nice toning. Starting bid of $11 on this particular coin. It's a 1939D Lincoln Wheat Cent. It is in gem uncirculated condition, or gem BU condition. It's red and brown. And the streaks that you see on the coin are on the coin. Those color streaks are on the coin. Let's see. Okay, I had to put my eyeballs on to actually find the coin. I'll stick it under the scope for you. If I can manage to find the coin. I need to stick a card in here so I know where I am. Here it is. Okay. Get this set up in here, and poof, there we go. Hey Gary. Now it's gonna look brown under this light because the luster just isn't showing up very well, but you can see it has color. And it's also relatively mark-free coin. Really nice coin. Let me flip it over and show you the other side. Nice and mostly red with some of those undertones of color showing the toning. A few little spots here and there, but it's mostly color spots and not necessarily carbon. Let me take you back over to the auction lot and start the clock up. See who wins this. For everyone who's just coming in, we're running these auction lots. You have to subscribe to the channel. Once you subscribe to the channel, you're free to bid. We accept payment through PayPal. Once bidding starts to slow down, and if you hear squeaking noises, it's my dog. My dog is playing with his monkey right now. But once we start getting a little bit slower on bidding, we run down the clock starting at 1 minute. When the clock gets down to 0, the auction's over regardless of any decisions made. If you're the last one to bid, you're the last one to win. Oh, I'm not blaming the dog. The dog, this dog is like my right-hand man. But he chews on his toys inside my office maybe once a month. Today is the day he's decided to do that. The clock has run out, and we are ready to move to the next item. I have a 1914S Lincoln cent with a, oh, it's a mid-grade coin. Doesn't have damage, scars, scratches, or other problems. These things typically run. That was my dog, not me. This one in fine is $25, and very fine it's $30. This does have a little bit of separation between the cheek and jaw. The wheat stalks are a little bit weak, so I'm going to call it basically a fine coin. This one's starting at good money. There's not a whole lot of movement back and forth on these. At good it's at $18, and very fine it's $30, so there's not a whole lot of spread. Let me go ahead and start the timer. Got John Claggett showing $22 right now on this one. Thank you, John. Just about 30 seconds left. This is one of the lower mintage coins of the Lincoln cent series. It's I don't have the mintage figures up right now, but the mintage on this one, it tends to be a little more difficult than a lot of the other S Mint coins, other than the 13 and the 12S. And the 14S is one of those that, you know, you'll see them once in a while, but they're not going to be common. We had time, and it looks like it was Gary Wagner at $26. Thank you, sir. Stop the timer, and we will move on to the next item. Here's a 1946S. This one has all of the marks of a shell case coin. Everything in it, the orangish color, the slightly rough texture. It's just a beautiful coin. You can see that it was preserved relatively well in a fresh mint roll, and I got it out of the roll when I submitted a whole lot of other coins for grading. Sorry, this is a 46D. I said 46S, and it's a 46D. It starts at $9. This one is a really pretty coin. I really like the shell case coins and the way they look. Shouldn't surprise anyone that I can't locate the coin right now. There we go. Now these things are valued around $15 in this nice uncirculated condition. Here's what the coin looks like. There's a couple of high point hits. Slight amount of weakness in the date. But this light, once again, does not show luster. And there is a lot of bright luster on this coin. Let me pull it out and flip it over and show you the other side. This side, other than that one dark spot, slight spot next to the A of America, other than that, I mean, this thing is really nice. Really nice coin. Let me go ahead and start the timer on this. Start counting it down at a minute. This is lot 13. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, 30 seconds left on this. $4,137,000 on that 1914S. They are rather scarce. Five, four, three, two, one. Time. Tom, you can hear the dog? No, let me see it. Nope, 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 nope. Let me see it. Okay, we're gonna... There, I come over here so you can meet the monkey. This is the dog's monkey. This is what you guys are hearing. He loves to chew on his monkey. Look at him. You're like, what are you doing with my monkey? You need to give my monkey back. Okay. There we go. He's had his camera time. Amazing. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next lot. Let me clear the timer. The 1946S. Now, the little streaks of color that you see in this are indeed color, but they do not detract from this being greeted as a red coin. This is a very nice, bright luster coin. And as soon as I can get this moth out of the way, I'll bring it up and I'll show it to you. There we go. Really pretty, has a couple of little marks here and there. This is the large S mint mark. Let's flip it over and I'll show you the reverse. And if I tip it just a little bit, now there is that one spot up there, but you can see the spot in the other photo. But you see the luster on this? There's still plenty of luster on this coin. Regardless of the fact that it kind of looks dull in the photo, there is a lot of nice luster on this coin. So let me flop you back over to the lot. And we will go ahead and start the clock. Got about 45 seconds left. There is already a bid of $5 on this, Thomas. And so we have a bid of $6. Mantic, you're out at 5. Got about 15 seconds left on this one. Mantic's back in. And Thomas back in. And time has run out. Thomas wins at $8. Thank you, Thomas. And move on to the next item. The 1955 Lincoln Cent. And this one has a huge die break on the reverse. Now, that I'm not adding anything to the value of the coin starting at $2. But I want to show it to you anyway because it's just cute. There's all kinds of stuff going on the reverse of this coin. Bug in the wheat. There you go. This is more of a huge bug, and you can also see that there's some issues going on with the T of cent, and there's also some minor cracking and a couple of small die breaks in the left wheat. But folks, 1955 Lincolns are relatively common to have this sort of thing because they use these dies to death. But I just think it's really cute. I like it. Has a little hint of a fingerprint on it. Otherwise, a very nice coin. And it does have the very beginning of a cracked skull. Well, actually, not the beginning of one. It has a pretty decent cracked skull. You can see 2 different cracks running across it. One going from the eye up around the forehead to the hairline, and then one in the hair just above that. I'll take you back over to the lot, and I'm going to start the clock. Shumar is collecting. Shumar has already collected a few rolls of them. We have 40 seconds left on the clock for this particular item, then we'll move on to the next one. And see, at a time when it doesn't really matter, and the dog could be entertaining everyone here, he's decided not to chew. It's just how he is. I've had my skull cracked once or twice myself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time. Time is up on this item. Let's move on to the next one. How much for the dog? The dog's not for sale. Not for sale. Now, this is a 1948 plane, and they are not easy to find in gem condition. And this one is, I would say, borderline to gem. A gem coin is going to run you $10, if not more than that. This particular one is really nice and clean looking. It has lots of luster. I'm only starting at $4. No, he is not a French bulldog. He is most likely part English bulldog and part American Staffordshire bull, which means that he's probably just a pit mix. He's probably the sweetest and most precious dog that you'd ever want to meet. Hey, Sherm, lay off the squeaky, okay? We don't need the squeaky. No, that's a good boy. Thank you. Hoogie's is at $5 on this particular dog. We're auctioning one dog, one bulldog right now, $5. I wouldn't let this dog go for the world. That's right, he's trying to get you guys to start bidding. Let's go ahead and start the clock on this one. This dog, I've had him for about 2 years. He's roughly 4 years old. He's coming up on his 5th birthday in November. We have no idea exactly when he was actually born. I'm a combat veteran, and he is my support dog. We got him from the pound. Never needed any kind of training. He's scarcely even gotten mad, and I don't really even know what he looks like when he's mad because he just doesn't get mad. And he loves everybody in the house, except the ones that don't belong. We got 5 seconds left on this one. Current bid at $5. And time. Yeah, that's a good thing about dogs, is that you never really want to get rid of them. Thank you, Hoogies. Yeah, move on to the next lot. This is a 1938S, but this one has a repunch mint mark on it. And this repunch mint mark is actually not easy to find, and it's kind of scarce. I guess that's what not easy to find means. Just another word for it. But I have to show this to you because this coin is in really nice condition, and this repunch mint mark is actually a real tough one. It's also a real tough one to get on camera. And try to get it lit. Okay, this is probably the best I'm going to be able to do with the lighting on it. You can see on the upper curve of the S, the bottom side of the upper curve of the S, right above the bottom serif, there's a split on the left-hand side of the S. And that split is actually a repunch mint mark. It's listed by Wexler, it's listed in the Kaneka files, it's listed in my files. And this coin, I'll take you on a little tour of this coin. It's a very nice coin. Nice red uncirculated condition. There's that little spot down there by the mint mark. Man, this is really hard to pick up in lighting like this. Let me flip it over and show you the other side of the coin. Scoop up a little bit here. Look how clean that is. That is a really clean coin. We're starting this at $29. You're not going to find one of these that's attributed cheaper. I guarantee you that. These things are worth every bit of $50 in this condition. See the luster on there? This is a really nice bright coin. And go back over to the obverse. And I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on this one. Now these RPMs, 1938S, it almost seems like the number 2, the one with the S over S over S, the one that's cherry picker listed in a really nice one, is a lot easier to find than this one. That could be because this one's kind of minor and it's a little difficult to see. But when you're someone like me and you're actually looking for repunch mint marks, I don't see this very often. kind of strange. I've been through a number of original 1938S rolls. I have found dozens of RPM number 1, RPM number 2. I've only found a couple of these. So they're actually a little bit difficult to find. Got 5 seconds left. And time. Pull the clock down now. Mantic at $30. Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next auction lot. This one is rare. Basically all I can say about it. It is rare. This is a 1946S over D over mint mark. And I am going to bring us as close to the coin as I can possibly get you. And try to show you the mint mark on this. There's a little crud in the mint mark. But you can see inside the upper curve of the S, inside the upper half of that S, you can see the top of a D. More importantly and more visibly, you can see a straight line running up and down on the left-hand side of the S. That's going to be a lot of people's pickup points in getting a coin like this. These things are tough. I mean, these things are really tough. Robert, you may bid. There's no pre-registration. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. This is lot number 18. I've started it at $49 and there is a current bid of $55 on this item. I have been through thousands and thousands of 1946S Lincoln cents in my time. I have found a grand total of 1 of these, and this is not the one that I found. This one came in a collection purchase. Now go back to the image of the whole coin. And we're going to go ahead and start the clock. Running at 45 seconds now. Oh, come on, John, you know you want it. This is a FS cherry picker listed coin. It is one that would be recognized by NGC, PCGS, or any of the other major graders. And I've got time. Got John at $65. Appreciate it, John. Thank you very much. And move on to the next item. This is one of the least expensive MS66 red wheat cents you will find. 1955S in MS66 red is a relatively inexpensive coin. However, grading these things starts at around $25 a coin. So you're going to run into this one cheaper than you would be able to get one graded. Starting this one off at $15. Now this view is not going to be pretty, but it is going to show you the technical merits of the coin. My little ring light thing absolutely hates slab plastic. And those marks, as you can see, are on the slab because they fall on top of the light. There are no discernible marks on the coin. let's look at the other side. Again, all of the marks that you see are actually on the slab. They're not on the coin. And a little plastic polish will take that right off, and you'll see that the coin is virtually mark-free. Graded MS66 red by PCGS. There is some outside chance this could go 7, but I'm thinking more realistically it would stay in a 6 holder. Alright, let me go back and we'll start the clock on this one. I really like the high grade coins. By the way, the next time we bring up this auction, we'll be doing rolls. I've got a number of rolls to put out for auction. And then the next time I come back, it'll be a mixture of rolls and slabs. I've got a lot of nice slab Lincoln cents. Nope, squeak. I mean, I could probably pick it up and squeak, but he's chewing on a bone now that doesn't squeak. Next time we're looking at every other Tuesday. So it would be 2 Tuesdays from now, which I haven't even looked at the date on the calendar yet. I probably should have set this up ahead of time. It'll be the 4th of June. And we have time on this. And we're going to move on to the next lot. Thank you, John. Here's an interesting 1909 Lincoln. The color difference from the obverse to the reverse is actually what you see in the photo. The thing about that is that this tends to be one of those woody-like coins, and the luster on this thing is absolutely dripping. It's beautiful. Let me try to get it underneath the scope so we can pull it up and show it to you. There you go. I'm going to tilt this just a little bit and show you how much of a shine there is on this coin. So this side you can see a little bit of woody toning under the in God up toward the top of the design. Now when I flip it over to the other side, you'll see that it's a slightly lighter color. Really, really nice looking coin. Has just a small little dent up there on the rim above the right wheat. And it also has a rim-to-rim die crack running along the outside edge along the right wheat. Now, I have this one graded, check my notes on page 3. Have this one graded at 64 brown. MS64 brown on this is a roughly $35 coin. You take it back and I'll go ahead and start the timer on this one. So everyone's just going to have to understand that this house is generally quite quiet, and the largest noise in this house is usually the dog chewing on whatever he's chewing on. Got about 30 seconds left. Right now he is chewing on a bone, on a rawhide bone, and it is making all sorts of noise that I'm sure is coming through in the mic. Thank you, Sherman. And I show time. Thank you, Bill, for the bid. Move us on to the next lot. Look at this thing. This one's pretty. This is a 1909 VDB with really nice luster and really nice color. There are hints of purples and blues around the periphery of this coin. It is a brown graded coin. I'm going to call it a 65 brown. It is a very bright coin. Let me show you this one. Here we go. Take a look at this. Very few marks. Very, very few spots. And look at that color. This thing's gorgeous. Alright, get it flipped over to the reverse so you can see the other side is just as nice. It has almost a proof-like shine to it. But this is definitely not a proof coin. I repeat, not a proof coin. The VDB is relatively weak on this coin, but it does show down there on the bottom. I find it to be rather weak with all of the 1910 reverses, and this is a 1910 reverse. And so let me switch back and start up the timer on this. I'm moving right along. The color on this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. You don't see them come along this way very often. Usually if you got really nice color, it's going to end up having some spots on it. And this one doesn't have any spots, plus it has the color. It's not red though. But that just makes it less expensive, because if this was a red coin, we'd be talking about $60 to $100. $20 left. John jumps in. Thank you, John. This is a sweet coin. It's really pretty. And 5 seconds left. And time. Thank you, John. Oh, Robert, just after the clock, buddy. Let's see. Move us on to the next item. There's a 1929D Lincoln cent. Now, 1929D is one of those dates that comes a little bit soft. And this one is not soft. This is a sharp coin. Don't see them like this very often. This thing's got a nice full strike. Start this one off at $27. Now, if you were to attempt to buy one of these outright, you're probably going to be looking at $50 coin in 64. And 65, it's a $90 coin. And here's this one. Look at the reverse on that. Yeah, one little mark above United. It's a little bit flat in luster. It doesn't have a lot of luster, but look at that detail. Man, this thing is nice and sharp. Let me pull you over to the other side. Look at that coin. Just a little tiny bit of luster left on this. Here's a little mark on the lip. But overall, it's a very strong coin, very nice one. Great strike altogether. A lot of 1929s actually have a weak last 9 of the date because of die wear. This one's just as crisp as it could possibly be. And go ahead and start the clock on this one. No amount of coins could make this dog any happier than he is with this rawhide bone. He just loves these things. I'm glad he does. I'm showing 27 seconds left. Two, one, and time. I appreciate it, Thomas. Thank you very much for your bid. Let's move on to the next item. This, folks, is a relatively common issue, being that it's a 1960 Philadelphia large date. What's uncommon about it is the type of clip that it has on it. This type of clip is not as commonly seen as the typical curved clips. I'm going to start this one off at $7, and it's very much worth that, if not a lot more. Well, John started off at $20. I appreciate it, John. Thank you. Let's take a look at this coin. See, that clip is nice and straight, runs right along the lower periphery of the coin. You could almost hold a ruler up to it. You see where the area around God up at the top is actually a little bit weak on this coin. That's your Blakesley effect. And one way of telling that these are actually real is you notice how the rim on this coin really comes down to a lot of weakness before the actual clip. I get it focused in a little bit closer here. You see that where the rim is really weak right along the edge of the clip? That's your... Oh, John starts at 12. Oh, that's good. That's a sign that you've got a real clip right there. Let me flip it over and show you the other side. And the other side, you can see that the rim, once again, is a little weak right around the edge of the clip. You'll also notice that the word of and the U in pluribus is a little weak. That's not necessarily caused by this clip. That area is very weak on a lot of memorial cents. And it's weak on a lot of memorial cents because I don't have this in focus. Not because I don't have it in focus. I do have it in focus now. Because the shoulder of Lincoln is just on the opposite side of this part of the design. Actually, it's the vest, the lapel and the vest area. And given that that is right directly opposite this part of the design, it doesn't often strike up completely on the reverse. And let's look opposite this, and you can see a little weakness in the rim around the 1, the E, and the C of cent. And that would be directly opposite your clip. Take you back over to the coin, and let's go ahead and start the clock on this one. Start counting down from 1 minute. 36 seconds left. Got John up to $18, I see. Thank you, John. My dog is thoroughly enjoying his bone. Okay, John's the last bidder on this coin. Anyone else want to bid? Get your bid in. Oh, we've got time now. I've got a nice one to show you guys now. Take a look at this. What about that? 1995 double die. Now this one is an earlier die state version because it doesn't have the common die crack that shows up behind the ear on a lot of them, and the doubling is definitely nice. It's definitely there for sure. This is one of the nicer modern double dies in the Lincoln Cent series. Let's switch over and play a little eye candy game with you here. There's your Liberty. You can see it's got really heavy notching all the way throughout the entire word. And then in God we, and most of trust has some doubling. And the date does not really have any doubling on it. The reason for that is because the pivot point of the doubling on this was at the rim near the 5. That's why the area directly opposite the 5 would be the most doubled area on the coin. This thing has really nice luster, and it is an earlier die state coin. A later die state coin is going to show a cracked head going through the hair and the ear, and then even later versions of it will show noticeable die wear in the date area and a small die break inside the last 9. It'll also show weakness along with some die flow toward the edge of the design. Now this one does have a little bit of die flow, but man, this certainly isn't weak. This is a stage A, stage B coin, and they are pretty scarce, especially in uncirculated condition, and this one is a nice uncirculated coin. Anybody interested in bidding in this one starting at $29? $29 to start on this. Trying to show you the reverse in such a way. I'm going to try this and see if it works. This is inside the flip, so there's going to be a lot of shine, but I can actually move the coin so that you can see the luster. Really nice bright luster coin. Now I'll go back to the item. Got Robert coming in at $37. I will go ahead and start the clock on this one. At the end of that clock, all bids are final for those who are just joining us. So I let you think about it for a while. Then you need to get your bids in, because there is an expiration clock in this auction. Got 45 seconds left. Actually 30 seconds left. I'm sorry, I'm looking at delayed time. Got 15 seconds left. Our next auction will be 2 weeks from tonight. If you look at coppercoins.com/auction, you will see a number of lots that we are not going to get to this evening. And I'm showing time. I show Robert at $37. Thank you, sir. Move on to the next item. 1929S. Very light wear on this one. It's a nice AU coin. I'm going to start this one off at $9. Now, 1929S is a relatively tough coin to come by. In fact, all the S Mint coins before 1935 are kind of difficult to find. This is lot number 25. It is an AU 1929S Lincoln cent with nice detail. Has a good solid strike, as is evidenced by the top of the O of 1. We have a $9 opening bid. And I'll explain to you that this is a perpetual auction, given that the lots will be continually running up in numbers. So if we end at lot number 35 today, we'll pick up with lot number 36 2 weeks from now. Just keep track of coppercoins.com/auction and watch for your notifications in YouTube. I'm showing a high bid of $9, the opening bid right now. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on this one. We do have other auction lots to make it to. Got about 35 seconds left if you want to get your bids in there. Down to about 20 seconds. Five seconds left. And time. You're lagging 3.09478 seconds behind the clock. Wow. 3.09478 seconds. Are you using like a mile-wide atomic clock on this? Go ahead and clear this off. Move to our next auction lot. We have a 1960D large date original bank wrapped roll. This one comes from the Fed Reserve Bank of Kansas City, the Oklahoma City branch. I'm going to start this one off at $2. I am going to attempt to show you the ends of this particular roll. Up to $5 now. Transition over. Now there's a little spot on the coin, but you can see that the roll itself is nicely packed. And it's very old. I'll flip it over and show you the other side. A couple of spots on the end coin, but the roll is nice and freshly packed. There's just a little bit of a shake in this one. That's very common for the early 60s. The coins are not stuck in there real tight. And the writing on this is the Federal Reserve the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, Oklahoma City branch. It's a Brandt wrapper. There are roughly 175 listed repunchment marks for 1960D large state cents. This is, or actually large and small. This is a large date roll, or it appears to be a large date roll since the two end coins are both large date. I'm assuming the rest of the roll is large date. Maybe not a great assumption, but I'm making it anyway. Let's go ahead and start the timer clock on this. We've got a bid up to $15 on this. Anyone all in at $15? $15. We're down to 46 seconds. I'm not such a great auctioneer. Just saying. My dog also isn't good at being quiet. Just saying. Yeah, 25 seconds left on this one. Thank you, Penny Parrot. I'm down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, here we go. I take my eyeballs off so you can see me instead of my eyeballs. Got a special deal for you on this one. I have 5 of these. 5 of them. You need to claim it right now, starting right now. If you want one of them at $15 a piece, they're all going at $15. Robert, you're getting yours at $15 too. Got 5 of them available. Same source, same coins. This is just one. Bin it out. We've got 3 taken, 4 taken. Okay. Mark down those first 5. Rudy Alfaro, Robert Lawson, New Marshall in Town, Mantic Coins, and John Claggett. Sorry, Victoria, you didn't get in time. We'll get those 5. And remember, if we don't have your email address, if we don't know who you are yet, you're going to need to send us an email. That's going to be at purchases@coppercoins.com. Send us your real name, your screen name, and your PayPal email address if it's not the one you sent from. We'll get you an invoice sent out. And you can pay by the invoice that you get directly in your email. Okay, Robert, did you want 2 rolls? Because I thought you had, of course, you won an auction lot and then you binned. I tell you what, I'll let the roll that I was going to keep, I'll let it go. Robert gets 2. New Marshall, you see Rudy gets 1. Robert gets 2. New Marshall gets 1. Manta gets 1. 1, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And John Claggett's going to get 1. Those are at $15 a piece. Next item. This is more of a fun item than anything else. It doesn't have a lot of value. I'm starting it at $1, okay? But this is a PCGS slab. And it's of a 2010 Lincoln Cent, but you'll notice that there's a little sticker below the PCGS part of the grade. That is a Modern Acceptance Corporation sticker. It's a company called MAC. Their idea was that you have CAC accepting the coins that are the older ones, and Mac was going to take over to do the modern coins. It's a great idea, and I happen to have one of their sample slabs right here. And it's yours starting at $1. We have a bid of $5 up to $6 now. What I think is rather unusual is that this coin grades MS65 red in the holder. I believe the coin's actually higher than an MS65 red. Not that it makes any difference at all. But here's the coin. There's a little scratch on the slab, as you can see. But the coin itself, it's a pretty clean looking coin. There's a little spot above the CA of America. A little spot above the T of States. That's a nice looking example in this holder with the Mac label, and it is holdered with the reverse forward to show the shield, because this was the first year of the shield cent. Alright, let's move back over. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on this one. I just think this is a fun lot. I just like it. If you're a sample slab person, this is definitely one that needs to be in your collection. Even though it's not a PCGS sample, it is a Mac sample. I keep thinking there's got to be some sort of a joke about Mac Daddy or something in there. We're up to lot number 27. I'm going to attempt to get us up to lot 40 or 41. So if you look on coppercoins.com/auction, anything after lot 40 or 41 we are going to take care of in 2 weeks, which is June 4th. It's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned, and we'll get you there. 5 seconds left. And time. Hoogie, hoogie. Business is business. And look, both of you were snoring. Looks like Coin Dragon ends up with it. Thank you, sir. May reset the clock and move on to the next item. This is a roll that I have never been through. I have no idea exactly what's in it. I have unfolded the ends of this. This is an entire roll of 1943 plain Lincoln cents in one of those little window paper wrappers. I can show you the end coins and show you that there's nothing special about them. It's just an entire roll of steel Lincoln cents. There you go. There's one end that I've just opened up for you to take a look at. There's a few marks here and there. Looks like it's otherwise a AU coin. Not in bad shape. Here, let me, sorry you're looking at a blank screen right now, but I'm going to pop the other side open and let you look at the other side too. It takes a little while to get these paper wrappers open. Ah, this one's got more paper on the inside. I don't want this thing to come apart. That's what the other end looks like. You can see the coin down in there, and I can't really get that other piece of paper up. I have got to take Ken's idea and get some toothpicks. But see, if you look at this wrapper, let me try to focus in on this wrapper. So this wrapper likes to come open because it's just wrapped around the coins, and there's these nifty little windows up here that, and I've opened one of these wrappers up flat before. You can wrap everything up to $50 in these. And there's the patent date on it, May 31st, 1921. I'm figuring this one was probably used in the 50s or 60s. That's roughly the date range of the collection this came out of. I did not take the coins out of this. I have only seen the one end coin. Move back over. And I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. You got 1 minute left. Get your bids in. Peevis pointer. Is that what I should call a toothpick? I have toothpicks. I just don't have any here. Which will tell you an important story. I do not use toothpicks when it comes to coins. I don't do anything on a coin with a toothpick. Toothpicks are wood. And wood is relatively hard. When you start pushing dirt around with wood, you can scratch metal, because dirt is usually little tiny rocks. Yeah, I can get free toothpicks at Waffle House, but then I have to bring them home and sharpen them. You know how hard it is to sharpen a toothpick holding that thing inside the little sharpener? Looks like we got time on the lot. Looks like New Marshall in town is our winning bidder. Is that correct? New Marshall at 22? Yep. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let me move on to the next lot. This is a fun lot too. This one, these coins, I'm not even going to bother getting these things out and spreading them out. But you can see that there's all kinds of electric colors on these things. I'm starting this lot at $1. This is a fun lot of 1943 steel Lincoln cents. It came out of, these all came out of the same collection together. There's all sorts of colors on these things. None of them are naturally toned. Yeah, pretty much stovetop cents. We're going to start this out at $1. Anybody who has interest in having 1943 Lincolns with some very neon colors, we got 10 of them right here. If you got bacon, you don't need the Spam. The Spam is only if you don't have bacon. I wouldn't ruin bacon with Spam, but I would eat Spam if it was by itself and I didn't have any bacon, because there were times that I had Spam with no bacon. Those times were not in the United States. I actually had a show about Spam tonight. You know, I've seen that Spam, for some odd reason, is really popular in Hawaii. Why it's popular in Hawaii and not so popular in the other 49 states, I don't know. Yeah, fried bologna. You ever try doing fried bologna in butter in a skillet? And that's all fine. Don't put Tabasco in there, because the Tabasco will burn in the skillet and it will burn your eyes. I didn't know that, but I do now. Let's go ahead and start the clock on this one. A little bit hard to see the clock on that light background. When you go to the grocery store in Hawaii, you can see they've just got it's every flavor is out there. You go to the grocery store here in Florida, you might see 2 flavors, but they've got, I don't know, they've got all kinds of pineapple flavors. They've got every flavor you can think of in Hawaii. Okay, here's a word that I've never seen. E-X-U-R-G-U-E. Amber, you're not missing anything. We got about 5 seconds left on these if you want to get a bid in above Victoria at $4. And time. Hoogie, it doesn't matter how you spell it. I've never seen the word. You can spell it any way you want, and I believe you. The slot on a TV dinner tray is a... I don't even know how to pronounce that. Is that exergue or exergue? I digress. Let's move to our next item. Next item is this beautiful 1907 Indian head cent. Not quite as beautiful as the one in lot number 1, but this one is still nice nonetheless, if you don't mind a couple of minor scratches. This does have a couple of minor scratches below the chin. I'm working on getting my scope to a point where this looks pretty and you can see it under my scope. Let's get it in better... There we go, in better focus than my eyeballs are. This one's going to start at $40. It's a nice uncirculated 1907 Indian. Has a little bit of red and brown going on with it. This is a... it's pretty nice luster. I think I do believe... Let me check my notes. I graded it at a 63 brown. Let me flip it over to the other side and show you how clean it is on the other side. Nice coin on the other side over here. Pretty nice luster. Even has a little bit of red color left on it, but I'm calling it brown. Let's do this. Let's move the starting bid down to $30. Anybody want to start this off at $30? Let me go back over so you can see both sides at the same time. You've got a little bit of scratching below the chin. You got a couple of little rim digs out at 3 o'clock on the reverse. We do have a starting bid at $30. $30 on lot number 30. Let me go ahead and start the clock on that. The dog fell asleep. No more noise from the dog. Down to about 40 seconds. I'm actually excited about the next coin coming up, even though it's not a really valuable coin. It's very beautiful. Got about 10 seconds left. Anybody else want to throw a bid in there? Let's see, is this thing working? And we have time. I appreciate the bid, Robert. Let's move on to the next item. Check this out. This is a really nice 1930 plain Lincoln. It's not the most valuable coin, but it's pretty. Part of why it's pretty is you see all those little lines out in the right-hand field? Those little lines are all small laminations. Unfortunately, it didn't come with any colors like Woody, Woody. But see if I can show this to you. There we go. Take a look at that. All those little laminations on this coin. And the bright, bright luster. Even though it's a brown coin, it has really bright luster. Yeah, flip it over and show you just how sharp the other side of this coin is. This thing, except for the color, it's just a fantastic coin. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a brown coin, but a brown coin tends to Be a little less expensive and a little easier to find. Does anybody perhaps want to start this at 10? Any bids at 10? Now these coins in this condition, page 5, worth $25. I can show the laminations again. Right there. And let me bring the focus up just a little bit so I can tilt it and have it in focus. There you go. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Got that flaking right around the U of trust. And it runs straight down the obverse on the right hand side. Now the left hand side doesn't really have any of it. It's all mostly just over here on the right hand side. Alright. I get over here and start the clock on this one. It does. It kind of looks like scars. Got 1 minute from now. I'm going to start getting into some pretty colors here. You guys need to stick around. The next coin is a really pretty one. Very unusual for this particular date. And time. Thank you, Hoogie. And move on to the next lot. Look at this. 1933. You just don't see 33s like this very often. This is a really nice coin. Here you go, take a look at this. Just a little bit of color off brown toward kind of like a gunmetal. And flip it over and show you the other side. A couple of small marks here and there, but still got nice luster. Nice surfaces for a 1933 for sure. It's very well struck. I'll start this one off at $25. You can see a little die crack there in the left wheat. Has a little bit of skin growing on it. That's that kind of rusty brown color you see around the lower edge of the reverse. And there's a tiny bit of a fingerprint running over the lower left wheat. I'd keep this one before I give it for less than $25, so we're not going to move down on this one. I'll go ahead and start the clock on it. If anybody wants to get their bid in, they need to do it within the next minute. I have 45 seconds left. My dog has abandoned me. He got up and left to go sleep somewhere else because I'm making too much noise. God, you'd think he'd be a little more appreciative of the person who brings him food. Got 20 seconds left. I'll move on to the next one. Passing up a 1933 here. Still in the early Lincoln eras. And time. Clear off the clock and move on to the next item. 1919S. Nice coin with really light wear. This is a San Francisco Mint early Lincoln at $3. Lot number 33. Very nice clean surfaces on this thing. Extremely nice sharp details. Thank you, Coin Junkie. Starting this off at $3. One of the things that tends to be difficult to find with these earlier S-Mint coins is finding a coin that has any wear to lower its value, but does not have a lot of big marks on it that would detract from the appearance of the coin. Now, for an AU coin, this has a lot of eye appeal because there are very few marks on this coin. So it's what they call good old honest wear. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. Start running it down from a minute. We've got other auction lots to cover. I agree with you on that, Coin Dragon. This is a very nice coin. It's got a lot of detail. A lot of nice detail on this one. This had to have been struck within the first 10,000 of a die because it's just so sharp. Less than 30 seconds left remaining. We don't say left remaining. We say less than 30 seconds remaining or less than 30 seconds left. Why, if I'm going to be a radio host, I'm going to have to learn how to speak English. We're almost down to time. And it looks like Robert Adams is going to take this. Sorry, Mantic, you got in just a little bit too late. We move on to the next item. Look at that. 1970S small date. Who needs one? Running this one going really inexpensive at $21. This coin is uncirculated. It is mostly red. It does have some minor surface issues. Mostly color. Let's take a look at it. Here you go. Look at that. Definitely a small date. Definitely got your weak liberty. Definitely got the fishhook 9. The 7 and 0 the same size. But you have a little bit of browning going on this. This is from sitting in a roll that probably got wet. Of course, the coin's not been wet since I've had it. Got a little mark below the eye of in. Otherwise, a relatively clean coin for surface. It's got a few marks down on the vest. These 70S small dates are actually really tough to find. Back in the day of roll hunting these things out in the 70s, their ratio was approximately 40 to 1. 40 large dates to 1 small date. Now, that's given that the small dates typically came in rolls by themselves, or they were very lightly and loosely mixed in with the large date rolls, meaning that there were a ton of large date rolls out there that did not have a small date coin in them. The most I've ever done in an original 1970S roll was 4 small dates in the roll. This is not one of them. This particular coin came in a collection. It is not a repunch mint mark. That mint mark has a funny little hook shaped thing in it that's just part of the strike. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock on this one. BLK Steel and Silver Numisman. That is a long name. Welcome. We got about 30 seconds left in Hoogie's high bid at, no, actually Robert Adams is a high bid at 25. Hoogie, you got put out on this one at 25. Now you're up at 27. Robert bid 26. Robert, you're out 26. Robert's up 28 on this. Isn't it nice finding them in mint sets? I spent about 3 years going to shows pulling these out of proof sets. And time. 1970S small date proof sets. And I was paying between $8 and $12 a set. I think I found 10 sets in a period of a year and a half at the shows. So we're at time. Robert Adams, $32 on this one. Thank you very much, sir. And our next item. Look at the toning on that. It's a weak strike, but it has some really nice color. This came from a roll this way. I'll put it on my scope here and let you pictograph it live. It has a brownish color to it under a scope, but those purples really show up when you get the light. Of course, what do I know? There you go. Looks kind of brownish until you get it up under the right kind of light, and this is not the right kind of light to show that extreme toning. Here's the reverse side. Like I said, it looks brown, but if you look at that photograph, the photograph really shows it, what it looks like when you look at it eye to eye. Got a lot of pretty color on that. Got $2 starting bid on this. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. And we've got 1 minute left. Nice weak strike. It is. I'll let you guys know that the area on the reverse that looks really weak is that way because it is directly opposite the bust of Lincoln on the other side, and the design just did not fill in during the strike. Now, I'll let you know while we're waiting out the clock that there is a section of LincolnCent.com just for the toners and the woodies. And Penny Parrot just gave a reminder that if you are lagging, you can refresh and come back. And time on this item. Congratulations, Bill. Let's move to the next item. How about a 1926S? Now this coin has very little wear on it. what you've got going on the reverse there is actually a soft die. It's a well-used die. That happened a lot for the branch mint coins in 1926, around the 1920s actually. Now this particular coin is very nice grade, even though it has that weakness on the reverse. Let me flip over and show you this. You see, it looks like it was kind of struck through a chocolate bar. It does have a black spot on the reverse, and it does have one black spot on the obverse. But folks, this is a 1926S Lincoln cent, which is why it is priced as is. These things don't come with this little wear very often. You see just a touch of wear on the cheek. This is a very nice AU coin, despite the spots. You have a spot inside the U of trust. You have another spot just under the throat. But look at the relative condition of the coin. You don't see 26S Lincolns this way very often. We'll go ahead and start the clock on this. We have no bids so far. Anybody want to get a bid in there on this one? This is a very scarce coin at this grade. They don't come this way very often. And we'll go ahead and call time on this and move on to the next item. Look at that. Look at the toning on that guy. 1957 D Lincoln cent. Beautiful toning. Let's start this one off at $7. It is an uncirculated coin with wild toning on it. Let me flip over to the cam and show you what this looks like in living color. As soon as I can get the focus, you can see the color. But I think you probably want to see the design too. This thing is beautiful. Just beautiful. Starting off at $7. Look at the beauty. This is kind of a reverse bullseye because it's red around the outside edge and then the toning is all in the middle. Now if you look on the reverse side of this coin, it has a lot of nice color everywhere. My thinking is that this particular coin was probably in a coin board, and that's why it toned the way it did. The reverse has more of an even toning, and the obverse has that center spot toning with the edge of it still being red. Very common issue, but not toned like this. They don't come this way very often at all. I'll take it back over to the obverse and show you the obverse one more time. Look at that. Those colors are just awesome. And I'll go ahead and start the clock on this one. We have one bid in at the starting bid price of $7. Anybody else wants to get in? You've got about 50 seconds left. The color on this thing is just superb. I hope you send this in and get it graded. I want to see what the grade is on this. I'm figuring it's going to come back a 6 brown. If you like the toning on this one, the next one will knock your socks off. About 10 seconds left, and then I'll move on to the next item. Starting to run short on time. And time. The clock off there, move on to the next item. Congratulations, thank you, John. Now take a look at this. 1960D small date. This thing came out of the roll like this. Folks, chemicals don't turn coins like this. This is all natural roll toning and or toning that came from an album. This particular coin, look how, well, here. Let's go over here and take a look at it. See the colors on that? And you've got a number of little spots on it, and those little spots come from it having been stored at the end of a roll for a long time. Because when we flip this over and we look at the other side of the coin, it's a typical bright red Lincoln cent. Maybe it has a spot here and there. There's a little bit of color starting on it, but nothing like the obverse. The obverse on this coin is just beautiful. They don't come this way very often. They usually just turn brown. They don't usually have this iridescent color to them. I'll go ahead and flip over and start the clock on this one. This is a small date. It's a D-mint small date. A little bit lower in numbers than the large date, but it's not uncommon by any means as an issue. But it is rather uncommon with this kind of toning on it. Just a few seconds left. 21 seconds left here. And time. This next coin's probably one you guys have been waiting for. How about that? 1944 D over S, die number 1. Quite scarce. Very scarce, actually. Folks, I have only found one of these ever roll hunting. These are really, really scarce, really hard to find. And there's a good look at it. You can see the top of an S extending above the top of the D. And when you get these in really nice condition, when you get them in uncirculated condition, especially in earlier die state, you can see the entire S running through the D. This particular one, a little lower condition. It's you know, for a variety, it's kind of a lower grade coin, but you know, for a 44 D over S, what do you expect? This particular coin has a retail value over $100. It is a decent VF 20 coin. We'll go back over and I'll start the clock. I've only had an opportunity to sell, I would say, about a half dozen of these since I started selling back in 1999. You just don't see them very often. They don't come along. Now to contrast that, the OMM number 2, the other one, I've seen dozens of those. You see them in bags once in a while. These things just don't come along very often. This came out of a penny folder. Came out of a stack of collections and penny folders, and I'm the geek that goes through them with a loop to see what's in them. And boom, there it was. Got 5 seconds left on this one if you want to get up above Marshall. And I'm showing time. New Marshall, thank you. Alright, let me stop the timer and move on to the next item. How about that? That was a killer pickup too. Will you take a look at this? This is one of those beautiful crusty coins that you get out of a roll that just leaves you with your mouth hanging wide open because it's so beautiful. We're going to start this one at only $4. Look at the colors on this thing. $4 for this beautiful toning on the reverse. Let's take a look at this guy. There's the obverse, your unsuspecting, relatively regular red coin. It's a 1982D large date copper. Now let me flip this over and show you the toning. Bam! Look at that. Look at all that color. Bam! Right there. It does have a gaugash going across from the D of United to the E of E Pluribus Unum, but man, this is a nice coin. Nice uncirculated coin. Probably grade this a 63 red brown, but man, that color. There's some eye appeal involved in that. There's a lot of nice color in this coin. Let me go ahead and start the timer. Get the clock running. Yeah, if you could see what I can see right here, it looks just like the photograph in this picture. The Dynalite doesn't necessarily do a wonderful job of showing color as it really is. It's great at showing details. It's not so great at showing color. Folks, we got 3 lots left after this one, and we're going to stop. We've got 20 seconds left. Get above Coin Dragon at $4 on this one if you really want one of these, because they don't show up very often. You just don't see them. 10 seconds left. And time. Nope. Penny Parent Bill Betts got a bid of $5 in before Amber called time. Let's go to the next item. Here's one. It wasn't the same roll, but it was the same group of rolls. And this one's got toning on the obverse. It's not quite the coin of the last one. It doesn't have quite the toning the last one did, but it's still nice nonetheless. Let's take a look at the actual coin. Take a look at this. Some nice colors on that. It's another high luster 1982 Lincoln cent. It is a 1982 large date copper cent. Let's start this one off at $9. The reverse on this coin is nothing remarkable. It's a typical red coin. Came straight out of a BU roll. But then when you look at the obverse, this is the side that counts usually, and this is the side that looks the nicest on this coin. Now, those colors are going to be a little difficult to pick up in this Dynalite, but if you look at these photographs, that's the actual color of the coin. Real pretty colors. Hey, go ahead and start the clock on this. Get your bids in there, starting at $9. Nice, I've got wood table. We have 2 coins left. If there's any interest in this in the next few seconds, I'll just go ahead and stop the clock. Any interest? And I'm going to go ahead and stop this at 15 seconds. No bids. We'll move on to the next item. Look at the color on that. Now, this one actually does show under the camera. It's 1970S, large date. Let's start this one off at $4. Look at that toning. It has a really nice goldish red color on the obverse, and then it transitions into these blues and other colors. Now, this one very likely was in a paper wrapper, and it was the end coin. The reverse on this coin is nothing remarkable. It's all about the obverse this time. I say nothing remarkable, but look at the condition of this coin. This is a really nice grade coin, and it has the color. It's a $4 item here, people. You can start bidding on this one at $4. I'll start the clock on this. It's a beautiful rainbow toning on this. Beautiful. Thank you, Bill. Just about a half minute left. Oh, I didn't see the clash. I guess I do now. Yeah, it does have a little clash. Didn't even notice that. The color so overtook me, I didn't notice the little clash. Got about 5 seconds left. Bill's gonna get this one at the opening bid. And time. Last coin of the evening. Take a look at this. Now, this coin is a 1983. And I know that because the very tip of the last digit in the date shows. Trying to get it focused in here, and then I'll switch over to my camera. This is an indent. An indent is a coin that was struck through a blank planchet. And the coin was sitting in the collar, and the planchet was not. The planchet was sitting on top of it, and it got struck through it. You can see the date on this. You can see the last digit is going to be a 3. And this can't be an 85 or above. It could only be an 82, 83, or 84. And that's because of the specific type of lettering it has on it. They changed it before 85. There's a few spots on this coin. A little bit of a doubled rim up top. But wow, really? This is nice. This is an indent, meaning that that's actually concave. That's actually a dent in the coin. No Denver here. Because if it were a Denver, I think the mint mark would be at least partially visible, even if it was a far right facing mint mark. Now the reverse side of this coin, not the prettiest in the world. It's not ugly either. Has a little fin right here, some split plating and a little fin right here above America. And that actually stands out. Basically metal was squished all the way through the color and out the back end with all that extra thickness it had to mint through on the obverse. A little bit of machine doubling going on there. That certainly doesn't add any excitement to the coin, but it's there. You go ahead back and start the clock on this one. And I really appreciate it, folks. For those of you who have won auction lots tonight, you need to send an email to payments@coppercoins.com. Let us know your real name, your PayPal email address, and we will get you an invoice sent out, hopefully this evening. And you can pay that, and we'll get the coin shipped out to you immediately. You take a look at coppercoins.com/auction and you will be able to see all of the items that I have ready so far to run in our next auction. After this item ends, I'll flip through a few of them and describe them briefly. And we have time on this. Looks like we had a little fight right there at the end, and it looks like Ronnie Joe got the upper hand on that. Now I'm going to flip through a few of the auction lots that we will have next time we come back. There's a 1935D roll of Lincolns that are above average circulated. A lot of these coins are XFAU coins. There's a 1936D roll, same thing. All of these coins are hand-picked for quality in these rolls, in these particular better than average circulated rolls. There's your OBW bank wrapped roll of 1969S Lincolns. Who knows what's in that? How about a 1970S? Same thing. Bank wrapped roll. Nobody knows what's in it. And then 1969, 1970, you've got 1972. Lots of double dies known in this particular year. 1974 original roll. Here's a 2001 roll. Shotgun wrapped roll. These are straight out of a mint bag. Here you go, 2009D roll, but you can't see any reverse, so you have no idea which design these are. It's a mystery roll. And the same thing in 2009 plain. That'll give you guys a good idea of what we're going to get started on next time we come back. I appreciate everyone who put bids in this evening. I appreciate everyone for watching the stream. And I would like to leave the floor open for a while for any questions or comments. See if anybody has anything they want to add. And I do accept criticism well. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mystical Wolf, Steve, John, Coin Dragon, Will James? Will James? I didn't know you were in here. Robert? Yes, and I'll give free shipping to anyone who bid $99 or more. Plus, you get your coin cards. Don't forget the coin cards. I have coin cards. And I would like to extend a special thank you to Brady Douglas, Amber Pennell, and Jessica Johnson for moderating this auction and for keeping everything straight. We had a very good Okay, so Steve says he would like to see a 30-second timer reset after the last bid. Does that even mean, like if I've done my minute timer and someone else bids, immediately flip to a 30-second timer? So then perhaps maybe I should have a 30-second timer after every bid. The problem with that is that you're not going to get through nearly as many auction lots. And we've done, what, it's been 2.5 hours? Wow. Time sure passes. Yeah, we're running 2.5 hours now. We'll consider that. We'll put it together. Now it's 3.5 hours. Wait a minute. It says it's been 3.5 hours, but my clock is showing me it's been 2.5 hours. Well, I appreciate. Let's see. The last coin was the 1983, and time was called right after Ronnie Joe bid $19. So that one is a Ronnie Joe coin now. I swear I can't tell time right now. It's 2.5 hours. I'd like to get these shows done under 2 hours, but I would still like to be able to do 40 lots per. So it may be a little difficult to get this in, trying to reset a clock or reset a clock and reset a clock. I think it's going to have to probably stick with, I was actually thinking about probably less time per item. And you are definitely correct. This cannot happen without moderators. I could not run this myself and get through it like we did. Silver nitrate. I do have a way of making a sound at the end of the timer. I'm going to have to find a sound. But I think I can play a sound at the end of the timer. And that would help. So I'll take that into serious consideration and go take a look. Most definitely. Moderators, regardless of who they are or where they are, they're doing a great service to the community by helping out with auctions like these. I understand, Steve. Maybe we could do a shorter timer and then reset the timer after every bid. Because having that 1 minute timer, especially for something that doesn't get any bids, is it's a little painful. Thank you, Robert. I do have a few different things I'm going to add to this over time. And one of those things is I will offer inline advertising. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work yet, but it will be a slideshow advertising, possibly with video. 2 weeks is too long to wait. I have to rethink how often I'm doing this. Unfortunately, it takes that long to set up an auction like this. And trying to set up something like this and keep it running every week may be difficult. But I could at least try to give it a shot at some point. And we want to change it to, you want to do it every week? You guys trying to talk me into doing this every Tuesday? Yeah, 1 week is rushed. It will get easier with time, I'm sure of that, and I do appreciate the comments, especially considering there are people in here who run their own auctions. Mantic and Robert, if you guys would like to sound out real quick with when your next auctions are, I would appreciate it. I do not know when you're scheduled to have an auction next, but both of you can speak up and say so. Talking about the weakness in the word of and the reverse of the memorial, ran into some of that are weak to the left of that in states. Yeah, I have a comment on that, Wild Bill. Here's the deal with that. Different Lincoln Cent eras have slightly different amounts of relief in the design. And if you're looking at the early 80s Lincoln Cents, there's a lot of weakness in states, especially 1983, 84. For some reason, most of those are very weak. But if you go back to the 70s, a lot of the years in the 70s, the weakness is more just in the e pluribus unum or over in the word of. And it just has to do with the depth of design at that given time in the years of the Lincoln Cent. For instance, I mean, there's also weakness, notable weakness in a lot of the wheat cents, and it's going to be in the United States of America toward the bottom of the reverse, basically right where Lincoln's ear is going to be. If you look at Lincoln Cents with a stereo microscope with both eyes, you can see that as we go through the era of the Lincoln Cent, the design changed a number of times, and the relief and the amount of relief and the height of that relief has changed. And that is what's going to make weakness on the other side of the coin, where that relief is highest and lowest. So Mantic Coins, auction this Sunday, 3 p.m. Central. It's on the Mantic Coins channel. Mantic, you want to put your channel name up there? If you can you link to your channel? Same thing with you, Robert. You guys are... So I believe tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on CoinOp channel. Just go to the CoinOp channel and look him up. Robert, do you have a later auction as well? I do believe you have a later one. Maybe not tomorrow, but another day. You do 2 auctions in one day, which I have no idea how you even accomplish that. This is hard work, John. It really is. It's something that it's not for everyone. And you have to have a lot of inventory to be able to move through an auction like this and have anything set up for the next auction. I'm going to try to stay 30, 40, 50 lots ahead just so you guys can look at what's coming up next. I'm going to remove all the stuff that sold today. And so where did we get to? This is lot 42, I believe. I'll be able to start at lot number 43. And that's where the sheet will start. Middle name is sporadic. Okay. Penny Parent, you still around where you could, she may have disappeared to start tallying totals. You can put up a link to Robert's channel. Because I don't even know how to do that, unfortunately. There you go, Robert. I just made you a mod. You can put it on there yourself. Same for you, Mantic. I just made you a mod so you can enter your own advertising information on here. And we will work on getting something together for the next auction so I can plug you guys. There's Robert's channel right there. You guys go over there and subscribe to him. Got some cool auctions coming up. I watched his auction the other day. A lot of really good stuff. And there's Mantic's channel. I know there are other people doing auctions. I don't mean to slight any of them, but I don't see them in here. So I kind of do a symbiotic relationship. You show up at mine, I show up at yours, and we advertise each other, and everybody is happy. That's the way it works. Alright folks, I'm going to give it about one more minute, then I'm going to shut down. Anybody has a question? Anything they want to say? I appreciate everyone coming, and I hope to do this again and again and again. It's been very fun. I appreciate it, folks. Have a good night.